Hello, Emery's Crime here, your fellow crime thriller and mystery book lover. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am notoriously good when it comes at guessing plot twists. So today I have for you plot twists which was so good they even shocked me. And if you have read any of these books and guessed the plot twists, you have my full permission to tell me off in the comments. And make sure you stick around because I'm saving my very favourite plot twist for the end. Anyway, a pretty short intro for you today. Let's get straight to it. Okay, so would it be an Emery's Crime video without mentioning my absolute fave, Jo Spain? And today, the plot twist of hers which got me was from her book, The Perfect Lie. You might have seen me speak about this book in the past, but basically, Erin is having breakfast with her husband Danny. They're having a nice morning when the police knock at the door. Danny then jumps off the balcony and kills himself. Later on, Erin is arrested for the murder of her husband. I'm not going to tell you 12 times that the plot twist shocked me because that will get very repetitive and boring, but this was the kind of plot twist which made me feel stupid in a good way. Once I finished the plot twist, I actually felt incredibly stupid and I had to reread the whole book again from the start to try and figure out what I had missed. It is hands down one of the most cleverly written plot twists I have ever come across. Next we have The Only One Left by Riley Sager, which of his books is definitely my favourite one so far. Kit is a caregiver and she is due to return to work. Her next patient is a patient that nobody wants, who is Leodora Hope, who basically was accused of massacring her family decades ago, and Kit has to live there in this creepy ass house. The plot of the story really gave me Verity vibes by Colleen Hoover. I did find the first half of the book a tiny bit on the slow side. I think it took too long to set the scene. The second half, however, oh my gosh, you are hit with shocking twist after shocking twist after shocking twist. I normally would guess at least one of the minor twists, but in this one, everything got me. Next is a book from one of our favourites, Alice Feeney, which is Daisy Darker. Daisy was born with a broken heart and she has always been an outcast in the family. The Darker family reunite for Nana's 80th birthday on Halloween, but somebody is killing them off one by one. As with the Jo Spain book, this twist made me feel incredibly stupid, and again I had to go back to the start and reread the whole thing. Obviously I can't give too much away about the twist, but what I will say is it has people divided. It is very Marmite. Some people love it, like me, and some people despise it. My one criticism is that I do think that this twist has been done before in a popular movie. My lips are sealed because obviously I don't want to spoil it for you. Moving on to my latest author obsession, which is Charlie Donnelly, and the book of his which plot twist got me was The Girl Who Was Taken. Two girls who know each other who don't get on are both kidnapped on the same night at the same party. One of the girls escapes 2 weeks later, however a year on, and the other girl is still missing. If you've seen any of my recent videos, you will see that I have been gushing about this book. I thought it was so cleverly written, the plot was complex, yet the writing was still able to hold my attention. I don't know how accurate or correct it is, but I found the forensic pathology side of the story so fascinating, and it added just an extra little something to the story, and obviously the plot twist got me. This book you probably will have read, and that is The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. Ted and Lily meet in an airport lounge where together they plot to kill Ted's cheating wife. I'd seen so much hype for this book and I can't believe that it took me so long to read it. I only read it last year. I read it while I was in Ibiza on the beach, and the plot twist literally had me staring out into the horizon because I just had to process what I had read. As I suspect a lot of you have read this, did you guess the twist of this? Please let me know in the comments. Next we have Into the Fire by G.D. Wright. I actually preferred After the Storm by this author, but I guessed the plot twist of After the Storm. I didn't guess the plot twist of Into the Fire. In Into the Fire, a man runs into a burning building and saves a baby. He emerges from the fire as a hero. However, later on, it comes out that he may not be the hero that everybody thinks that he is. Even though the plot twist shocked me, it also left me really, really disturbed. When it comes to dark, disturbing, sick, messed up, this plot twist was that. It was on the same level of revoltingness as I Know Who You Are by Alice Feeney. If you know, you know. The twist was different, but equally both just disgusting. For all the books I talk about on my platform, I would really strongly suggest that you check out the trigger warnings, but for this one in particular, yeah, make sure that you do. It will probably be a spoiler, but if you're likely to get triggered, then please, please, please just check it out before you read it. I have a non-thriller book for you, and it's also quite an old book, so it's quite likely you've read it. However, I read this book about 10-15 years ago, and I still think about that plot twist all the time, so I had to mention it in this video. And the book, of course, is My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult. If you're not aware of the story of this, it's following 13-year-old Anna, who is suing her parents for medical emancipation. Her older sister is poorly, and Anna was basically born to be a donor for her sister, and in this story she's asked to donate a kidney, and that is the final straw. As I said, I read this years ago and it still stayed with me, and it is the kind of book which really makes you think. Jodi Picoult generally is pretty good at doing really good twists, but in my opinion, My Sister's Keeper is the best twist that she's done. Obviously, I think that the book is fantastic, but the movie, I don't want to talk about it. They ruined it. This book is one of my only 5-star reads of 2025 so far, and that is The Final Act of Juliet Willoughby by Ellery Lloyd. I'm not going to go into too much depth about the plot because I feel that the blurb is boring and it doesn't do the book justice, but it follows 3 timelines. It's a mystery thriller book with elements of dark academia thrown into the mix. The story absolutely blew my socks off. I think that it was plotted to perfection. It was quite a slow burn book, yet I found it really interesting and I was never bored. I did do it on audio, and I particularly loved all the glamour which was encompassed in the book. The main plot twist got me shock. That's the whole point of this video, but what I really liked is how the ending came together. It was just so cleverly well done. Obviously, when it comes to shocking plot twists, it wouldn't be right to not mention the queen of shocking, jaw-dropping plot twists, which is Freida McFadden, and the plot twist of hers which got me was the locked door, which also follows the serial killer trope, which is my favourite trope of all time. Look, what I want to say about this book is no different to what I say about a lot of her books, which is, of course, it was incredibly fast-paced, so grippy, the short punchy chapters made it so easy to fly through. Obviously the twist was shocking, the chapters leave you wanting more. They're just really, really easy, good popcorn thrillers, and I particularly loved The Locked Door because, one, I didn't guess the twist kind of made sense. Sometimes I find her twists are a bit random, and as I said before, the serial killer trope. We are 3/4 of the way through. We are 9 books down and we've got 3 left to go. If you have made it this far into the video, then thank you ever so much. I can't even begin to tell you how much it means to me. If you're not already doing so but would like to hit that subscribe button, then please do so. As well as being on BookTube, you can also find me on TikTok and on Instagram. Both are the same handle as my YouTube at Emma Reads Crime, and there's a link tree in my bio if you want to get to them more easily. I also have a website, emmareadscrime.com, which is in my link tree, where I have slowly been putting all my book reviews on there. I have been neglecting it, but I am making a promise to myself that when the baby is here, when he's having his naps, I'm going to be on the case to update it and put all my book reviews on there. Anyway, now on for the final 3 books. I have another book which you likely will have read, which is Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. This is the first and only Mary Kubica book which I've read, but I definitely want to explore more of her backlist. Are you a Mary Kubica fan? What's your favourite book of hers? Let me know in the comments. A local woman and her 6-year-old daughter Delilah vanish. This results in their close-knit suburban community being rocked with fear and suspicion. How could such a terrible thing happen in such a small town? 11 years later, Delilah returns and everyone wants to know what has happened, where has she been, where's her mum? As with The Kind Worth Killing, I was very late to the party in reading this one. I found the multiple POVs great, it made it really easy to fly through, and it has definitely made me want to read more of her books, especially because the plot twist got me. Next we have The Quiet People by Paul Cleves, where 2 crime thriller authors have bragged in the past that they can get away with the perfect crime. Their problematic son Zach then disappears and everybody thinks that they did it. You may have seen me speak about this book before, but I actually very nearly DNF'd it, and then when I got to the halfway point, shit hits the fan and I was fully invested. The plot of the story felt quite unique because sometimes I do think that thriller books can become a bit samey, and it just didn't go in the direction I was expecting it to whatsoever. I thought it was brilliant and I think it's a must read. And now this takes me to my final book and my favourite plot twist of all the 12 books, which is The Trap by Catherine Ryan Howard. After a bit of a heavy night out, Lucy has no choice but to walk home. While en route walking home, she accepts a lift from a stranger. She is fully aware that this is dangerous. However, she needs to set a trap because she needs to see if this is the person who kidnapped her sister. This was the second Catherine Ryan Howard book which I'd read, and I was a bit dubious going into it because I kind of thought that Runtime by her, which was the first book I read, was average. However, I thought the writing of this was top tier. I think that she did a fantastic job when it came to this book. I am a fan of true crime, as I'm sure quite a lot of you watching this video are. And what was actually the inspiration for this book was a handful of unsolved missing person disappearances. So along with being shocked by the twist, I found myself going down quite the rabbit hole. I think the book as a whole is a standout, and of her books that I've read so far, it's definitely my favourite. If you enjoyed this style video, then I will link here my top 10 dark psychological thrillers of all time. I will also link here books which I would sell my soul for to be able to read again for the first time, just in case you've not had a chance to watch either of these two. Thank you ever so much for taking your time to watch this video. Have you guessed any of these plot twists? As always, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you. Bye!